Hello there, in today's video I'm going to be discussing Star Wars Squadrons single-player campaign and how Alexander Freed's Alphabet Squadron series of novels fits into the story. What's up, JD here. As I just mentioned, in today's video we're going to discuss the single-player campaign of Star Wars Squadrons. Now, for the spoiler conscious amongst you, I want to give you a heads up. I will be discussing the game's prologue and some of the events that occur in the Alphabet Squadrons books. So if you want to experience Squadron's story with completely fresh eyes, or if you were planning to read the Alphabet Squadrons books and don't want to know what happens, then you might want to come back to this video another time. If you're still here, then I presume you're happy to hear some spoilers, and I'll crack right on. So Star Wars Squadron's story is going to be set around two pilots that you will customize and play as. They'll find themselves on opposing sides of the Galactic Civil War. It has been confirmed that the main story will be set after the Battle of Endor and the destruction of the second Death Star. The Rebel Alliance has formed a new republic, and the Imperials have lost swathes of their previous strength through death, capture, and traitorous defection. Those that remain loyal, however, are dangerous foes to the goals of the new republic. It has been confirmed, both via interviews with the creative director and through videos from the EA Game Changers, that whilst the bulk of the story is set after Endor, the opening prologue is actually set much earlier in the Star Wars timeline, shortly after the destruction of Alderaan. The opening of the game has you starting out as your Imperial character, a pilot of Titan Squadron. You are tasked with hunting down refugees who managed to escape Alderaan's destruction. After scanning around the target location, you eventually find the ships the refugees are hidden in, and you are ordered to fire on them. The Imperial reasoning for this decision presumably stems from the logical train of thought that anyone who survived Alderaan was unlikely to ever come to accept their home's destruction and rejoin the Empire as a model citizen. Any survivors were instead likely to just join the rebel cause. Your character presumably accepts this reasoning and is apparently primed to fire on the defenseless refugees. It is your squad leader who disagrees and defects there and then from the Empire. After this, your perspective shifts over to that of your rebel pilot character, who is currently part of Echo Squadron. You burst out of hyperspace and to the defense of the refugees. For the remainder of the mission, you work with the Imperial defector to drive off the attacking Imperials and get the refugees to safety. After this opening prologue, there will presumably be a cinematic that brings us up to the beginning of the bulk of the story. It seems that this prologue serves two purposes, one functional and one story related. Its primary purpose is to serve as an initial tutorial, getting players comfortable with the game's mechanics and flight model, but arguably more important, it sets in place what will almost certainly be the important theme of the campaign. That theme being the bitter rivalry between the two squadrons. This is because the Imperial defector has been confirmed to be Lyndon Javes. Lyndon Javes has been seen throughout the trailers we've had so far. His StarWars.com databank entry describes how he rose through the ranks of the rebellion after the destruction of Alderaan by hunting down Imperial capital ships. The entry also finishes by saying that Lyndon has been given command of his own squadron and a classified assignment for the New Republic. This new squadron will be Vanguard Squadron, the squadron your New Republic pilot serves within throughout the rest of the campaign. Many of you will have only heard of Vanguard Squadron from this game's marketing, but Vanguard Squadron was first introduced in Alexander Freed's Alphabet Squadron series of books, the first of which was published on the 13th of June 2019. The first book follows a group of 5 pilots, each piloting a different ship, who form the backbone of a New Republic intelligence working group, jokingly dubbed Alphabet Squadron. They are tasked with hunting down a particularly dangerous Imperial remnant known as the 204th Imperial Fighter Wing, or just Shadow Wing. During the first book, they take up residence on the flagship of Hera Syndulla's battle group, the Lodestar. Throughout the book, it is mentioned that the primary squadron aboard is Vanguard Squadron, though we aren't given mention of any names of characters within the squadron. The second book, however, is more interesting in terms of setting the scene of this game. It is known that the bulk of the game's story takes place after the Battle of Endor, though little information is given as to where, within the already established canon, the story will fit. It is well known among Star Wars fans that after the Battle of Endor, the Galactic Civil War continued for 1 year and 4 days before culminating in the Battle of Jakku, which is shown in Star Wars Battlefront 2's story and detailed in the Aftermath series of books. The Battle of Jakku is largely considered to be the end of the Galactic Civil War. Whilst Imperial remnants remained, they posed little threat, and there were no further major offensives against the New Republic. Some fans think that the story will cover the full year post-Endor and culminate in the Battle of Jakku. And as amazing as this would be, however, I believe that Shadowfall, the second book in Alexander Freed's Alphabet Squadron series, helps to define exactly where this game story will fit. Shadowfall's opening chapters detail the New Republic's efforts to retake the Cerberon system and its capital, Troyth, from Imperial Governor Hastemore. Capturing the system goes well enough, and they plan to bait Shadowwing into mounting a counterattack where they can ambush and eliminate the Force once and for all. Alphabet Squadron is still stationed aboard the Lodestar under Hera Syndulla as this takes place. About a quarter of the way into the book, once Alphabet Squadron have made their plans to ambush Shadowwing, Hera Syndulla announces her departure, claiming that Vanguard Squadron need her assistance in the Bormir sector. This happens to be the area of the galaxy that Squadrons has been confirmed to take place in. Hera leaves the Lodestar in Cerberon with Alphabet Squadron so they can carry out their plan, and then is absent for a large portion of the remainder of the story. Now, without spoiling too much for those who might read the book, Alphabet's plan doesn't go as they had hoped. They suffer heavy losses, the squad is split up, and they end up fighting a guerrilla war against Shadowwing on Troyth. In the last few chapters, Alphabet mounted a last-ditch attack on Shadowwing, with the odds stacked heavily against them. As all seems lost for Alphabet Squadron, the thunderous sound of a capital ship exiting hyperspace sounds, and this radio communication is broadcast. This is General Syndulla. To all New Republic forces, Vanguard Squadron is here. We are then treated to a section of the book from Hera's point of view. I'll read a handful of excerpts from this section that I feel reveal an insight into Star Wars Squadron's campaign. Hera had been gone for too long. She had left Cerberon with a clean conscience. She had left because Vanguard Squadron had needed her, and because the New Republic war effort needed the ships and territories that Vanguard Squadron would bring into play. As she stood aboard the bridge of the MC-75 Temperance, she was determined to save everybody she could. Her favourite aide had accompanied her through the hell of the mission with Vanguard. He stood ready despite enduring the destruction of worlds and the funerals of friends. On the one hand, there was every reason to think that Vanguard and the Temperance could put up a good show, even exhausted as they were. On the other hand, no one had beaten the 204th in a fair fight. It is my opinion that the entirety of Star Wars Squadrons will take place prior to Hera returning to assist Alphabet Squadron, with a low, but not zero, chance that we might also get to play through this fight as our Vanguard pilot. I feel like Hera's comments about being exhausted and battle fatigued are comments on the campaign that we will experience within Squadrons. Her comment about needing the ships and territories that Vanguard would bring into play is also particularly revealing. We know from the trailers that the Starhawk project will be an integral part of the game. The Starhawk project refers to the construction of 3 Starhawks. These are New Republic ships made from scrapped Imperial Star Destroyers, boasting an incredibly powerful tractor beam. I believe that the story will revolve around Vanguard Squadron's efforts to hunt down and destroy Imperial Star Destroyers to fuel the construction of the Starhawks, all whilst Titan Squadron try to learn more about the project and do their best to stop the construction. Ultimately, we know that Vanguard will win out, as the Starhawks are present and integral to the Battle of Jakku, but it will be interesting to experience the difficulties they'll endure. I expect the events and story of this game to fill a similar role to that of the film Rogue One. Rogue One details the Rebel Alliance acquisition of the Death Star plans. Despite already knowing they would somehow succeed, seeing the lengths that the crew of Rogue One go to adds so much to the impact of A New Hope and the destruction of the Death Star. I expect that this game's story will demonstrate how the events of Aftermath and the Battle of Jakku are completely reliant on missions we will take part in. And without Vanguard, the canon story that we know to be true would not have been able to come to pass. The beauty of this is that because this section of the canon is being introduced via this game, Star Wars fans who play through it can forever feel like they are a vital part of the evolving canon, giving a new appreciation for the events that occur during the Battle of Jakku. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on my theories. Did you read the Alphabet Squadron books and come to the same conclusions? If you haven't read them and would like to, I've included links to the books below. I actually listened to the audiobook and I definitely recommend them to those who find it hard to find the time to sit down and read. Full disclosure, I'm not being paid to advertise these books, but I am signed up as an Amazon affiliate. So if you use the links I've provided and make qualifying purchases, I will receive a small monetary kickback. So if you're considering buying these books, it's a great way to support the channel. One more question before signing off. When Squadrons comes out, I plan on putting together a let's play of the main story. Is this something people would be interested in? Would you prefer live commentary as I play, or just gameplay and silence? I plan on keeping this channel very viewer-led, so feel free to comment video suggestions if there's something you'd like me to make a video on. That's all for now though. If you made it this far, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.